Hey, what's up, guys? So, this whole process, we've been teaching you about funnels and content, and it's all about how content works. And today, I really wanted to kind of give you the large breakthrough that I promised you up front. And that breakthrough is really, really focused. It's about focusing on the right things. Do you remember the story I told you early on about Jim and Bob? And the difference was not, even though it came to fruition, that Bob could not run the business and was terrible at it, and Jim had grown it. You remember that story about selling door to door? The difference was real simple. Jim looked at it based on conversions. He ran everything he focused on around conversions. Now, this is the most important point that I can give you ever. Because way too many times do we get caught up in a few things. And the few things are how to write better, how to do this better, how to link build better, how to blah, blah, blah better, etc., etc., etc. When really the whole concept is in reverse order. And so this is what I want to teach you, is that to be like Jim versus Bob, here's how it works. You focus on the data that makes conversions happen. That may sound like nothing, right? So when you focus on the data that makes conversions happen, here's what that seems like, looks like, is that you focus on other, I'm gonna do it this way. That's terrible. We're gonna fix that first. I was gonna say your audience, but it's not really about your audience. It is, but it's even deeper than that. When you're focused on conversions, you focus on how other people react. And I realize that these are very, very terrible drawings, and I understand that. I was not trying to do something super technical. It was more just like, hey, I want to share this. And when you focus on others, being the key concept, others, your audience, you figure out what they actually want. And at a deeper level, you will understand your audience, the people that you are going to sell to. You will know them better than they know themselves. And if you don't, you end up over here. So let's stop for a second and consider the alternative. Okay? You focus on money. Notice conversions versus money is different. Okay? You focus on, I don't know how to say it, like keeping up with the Joneses. You focus on how you look or how something looks. You focus on what you think it should be like. You focus on what you think they would want. You focus on what other people are doing. Meaning you're watching other blogs, etc., and you're just trying to mimic. But you don't really understand what's going on that you're mimicking. And those are kind of the concepts. See, the overall idea here is that back when I was starting out, I bought a ton of courses, right? Over here is the most important thing. Let me not leave that off. You think as well. right? It's the prioritization. Number one is the customer and what they want. Number two, I'll make an abbreviation here, the customer and what they want. And number two is what you see converting. And see, over here, you always test. Over here, your test is the sniff test. Does it make money? And sometimes over here, this doesn't make money until you add something that seems out of place. Something that is brand new, something is unusual. You only know it, you can only sense it, you can only figure it out because you figured it out, really, right? See, the way I got here was I bought books, I bought courses. Yeah, these are just squares. I figured out strategies, right? I bought traffic. Using those strategies, I bought traffic. Strategies, some books, some courses. Right? Now looking back now, and obviously no matter what I tried over here, nothing worked. Looking back now, I understand why it didn't work. See, I realize it's because as I was trying these tactics, you know, and whatever these guys were selling me, I'm sure they had the best intentions. It just didn't work for me. But see, the problem was I didn't understand the overall strategy of how traffic works. How people got traffic before the internet. You know, the radio is now podcast. The newspaper is now blogs. I can put up a little graphic about all of that. But that old media, see, it's changed. Social networks changed a lot of it, okay? See, traffic is easy to get now because Facebook is a networking event. But you can just buy based off of people's interest. You can buy traffic and get people there because they have an interest. See, it's a lot more niche. See, whenever you were talking about Cablevision, let's draw a little TV here, right? Get a couple knobs, get your little screen, get the old Western on there. There's a horse, whatever. Television, and you had the radio. You know, that's the little speaking thing for the radio. You had direct mail, right? You had your direct mail pieces. You had what's another thing? Newspapers, right? You had your newspaper headline, blah 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 blah. Picture. And these were all mass. Okay. First off, they were just mass traffic. They were not niche. Second off, they cost a ton to do because you were hitting 5 million readers right here. Whereas now you can go to a blog, you can get that same readership, and it looks very much the same, right? You can get that same readership and maybe 5K people. But all of these people like whatever it is you're into. All of these people like pogo sticks, and you were trying to hit 5 million people, and only people that like pogo sticks hopefully read that day. You were trying to go after mass back then. And see, this all changed when you became able to go after people and their interests. That's really what changed, is that everybody talks about it, right? But the interest, that is the niche. So whenever you hear the word niche, because it's a big old buzzword right now, change that to interest. Change it mentally to I'm finding what people are interested in. See, Jim focused on conversion. Getting it to convert is what's hard. See, he looked at every sort of data and he focused on what moved the needle. So the number one thing I want to make sure we understand is conversion matters most. So if you want to have a product that sells, a converting offer, and a profitable funnel, then you have to focus on the conversion that works there within that. So as we're building out all of these different things, the main thing to do is to reverse engineer how do you get something that these people, right? So this is an email list, right? Email list, podcast. You can go get podcasts, same thing, right? Television now, you got YouTube, you got all kind of different ads, right? On top of all that, you have the social media. You got the Facebook, you got the little birdie. Tweet. Right, this is a Facebook. You got LinkedIn. This is easy. Right, you got Reddit, you got Tumblr, you got all this, right? The social media network. There you go. And so as you're doing all of this, how do you dissect? Because back here you had to put a mass market appeal into a niche audience that would then click through, and then that's where you niche down from that point on. Now you're actually going after the niche. Okay? So here's how you do this is you focus on 100 and then 200. All right? So here's what it is. We want to find 100 people that we can focus on, that have the same qualities or characteristics that we can start understanding and write to them. And then our 200, this is financially speaking, you want to focus on how do you sell $50 a month thing to those 200 people. That's it. Because that's 10K. And you get there by building. So some of them, there's a lot of different methods or ideas around this, right? So the Dream 100 is what Russell Brunson teaches. Ask method is Ryan Levesque. Either way, we're going to turn all of this green. Let's see what green looks like. Oh, that's okay. So either way, you start right here. And you are going to find interest. I'm having a lot of really hard time on this mouse. I bought a little writer, guys, that I'm going to learn how to use for these. I'm really enjoying making these videos. I'm doing this out of self-interest. I think there's a lot of people that can use it, and I'm kind of doing this in reverse of I found 100 people that I think would love these these videos, so I'm going to make them. And then I can make them better later on. And back to what we're talking about. So you're going to find 100 people, right? You're going to make your dream people. You're going to focus on their interests. And then you're going to ask. You're going to learn to ask yourself and ask them what and why. What are they using right now that's working? Why do they think it works better than everything else? What are they using right now that they hate? Why do they hate it so much? And all of that is going to give you this great little thing called a persona. And that persona is going to show you who your competitors are, where you can post and draw in that person. It's going to show you, it's going to open up everything. But the main thing it's going to do, we'll let the black here, is that you can write and publish and buy ads and target, etc. All of this into that. Okay? That's the big breakthrough. It's amazing, right? Is that when you break all of this down, it comes around and it's super, super specific to what you're actually trying to do. So here's how you do this. You start. You start by writing for other people. We're going to put up a landing. If you're starting out brand new, you're going to have you on a landing page that collects emails. That's its entire. That's the job right there. That landing page collects emails. Then you're going to go out and you're going to write and blog on everywhere else you can, and you're going to go get active in forums, and you're going to learn to do market research so that you can skip ahead a few chapters of where I had to start. But when you do all of that, you're going to have that persona. You're also going to be getting some free traffic along the way and building a little bit of an authority. And once we get this persona, you can actually make a product. And if you already know a little bit more than starting from scratch, if you're kind of in between all of this, maybe you have half a persona, let's fill in the details. But once we have a persona, we can make a product, we can find other products, and then we can make a sales funnel. And the cool thing is that once you have the targeted niche traffic, a bunch of your personas start coming in, and your lead capture goes through the roof. And then your ads are easy to target, and that goes right back to your lead capture. That should actually be on top, but your ads and even your retargeting start to take bigger effect. And that leads them through to sales and offers. And then down here you have an email list that you have segmented. And you have buyers, and you have lookers, and you're focused over here. And that's where you get that you're going to sell 50 of these, 200 of these, a $50 product, or 50 of those, a $200 product every month. And that entire process is what we break down and go through one-on-one if needed. We're kind of putting it together, and since we're going to base it all off of what you actually want, a lot of it's going to come down to, do more people want to know how to write better? Do more people want to know how to break into forums and actually pick out their persona? Do more people want to know how to really go through and understand and highlight the product market fit? The more people want to understand what niche they should be involved in. The more people want to understand how to do market research at a level where they can start better understanding their persona. Some people just need landing pages. And we're going to break through and go through all of those additional steps, from writing to how to get on, how to pitch big article sites, big publications, and get on there. How to run a Facebook ad campaign. That's a crazy amount of information that you got to know in order to break through this process. Sometimes people need help making a product. And all of that is what we're just going to take one member at a time and help them. And every week, my goal is to just help every member understand and get them to the next step in the process. And so, take me up on an offer. And take me up on trying this out for a month. Let's see how fast and how far we can move you. How any of your concerns can be overcome. It's less than $100 that we're saying, go over here, try us out, let's walk you through some content. You already see what I'm producing here. This is not fluff. I do not fluff content. You will get the real stuff, the real us on every piece. Now we've got a couple of offers we're going to make you. We've got a couple of things we'd love for you to buy. just buy them if they make sense for you. Don't just buy everything because I think this guy's great. But if it makes sense for you where you're at today, buy it. If it doesn't, come back to it later. You don't need to spend your money where it makes sense for you to move today. Okay? How to make a viral blog post, how to write, what editors and publishers are accepting and what they accept. All of these things are offered, but buy what makes sense to you today. Make sure you're in our members only group because we've got some exclusive campaigns we're going to run for those people to help them push their business to the next level. Product creation, things they can affiliate sell, things that we can affiliate sell for them, introductions to authors, introductions to editors, how to get someone else to write all these blog posts and do a lot of this work for you on the backside. And if this is something where you're like, hey, Will, this all sounds great, I'd rather just hire you. Just get in contact with me. It may be interesting. I'd have to look at your product and understand more about what you're doing, but we have done that before as well. So either way, I hope this series helped you. I look forward, I really do. I look forward to seeing you in the members area and really starting to understand what I can do for you and what it is that your holdup is right now and how we can push through it. Because there's a lot of really cool, useful tools, and I could sell you some really cool software. But the reality is that until you really understand how that traffic works, how that method works, how product sales actually work, you're not going to get there. I owned a ton of books. If I could draw a book, I would. We're going with that. Oh, look at that. It's kind of forming into a book there. All right, we're getting there. That's a book. I owned a ton of books. I still own a ton of CDs. I used to drive to Books A Million an hour and a half away. No, it wasn't an hour and a half. From Magnolia to Texarkana was about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. Me and my wife would drive to Books A Million. When we were married in college, we would drive to Books A Million, and I would buy a book and an audiobook. We would go out to dinner, hang out in Books A Million, read a couple of things. I'd pick out the book and the audiobook I wanted. She maybe bought a book, and that would be like every 30 days. I would consume those things right there. A lot of times back then it was Robert Kiyosaki and Anthony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and sell stuff. It was just great for my soul. I wish I'd have gotten a direct response back then, but I didn't. And then as it moved on, I bought software. I got courses and training and how this works and how that works and software upon AppSumo feeds me. This is what I feel like every time something comes out. I feel like I just spent another $40 to $80 on something I didn't need or I'm not going to use. But I always like trying that stuff out. And I bought traffic. I bought traffic. I spent tons of money on traffic. And then I came over and I spent tons of money on services, right? So this is one. I don't know what I ever think I'm going to get out of Fiverr, but they do a hell of a job of selling their service for what little bit of money that they make. And I buy a lot of that crap. And I'll tell you right now that the 5% that I actually get that work, or maybe less than that, is not worth the 95% I spend. I was looking at that the other day. I've spent almost $6,000 in Fiverr. It's a lot of transactions. It's a lot of transactions. Okay? I bought links. I bought, I bought a slew of stuff. Okay? I bought design video makers. You name it. I've bought it. But I can tell you today that the only things that worked, right? So all of that is just wasted money. Honestly, these were great, but they didn't help me take action. And that's really what changed where I'm at and what I'm doing, is when I did this. when I would buy one thing, I bought one course, and I took every step that he said take. Immediately I took it. Now that course is not in existence, so I'd just be affiliate selling that course. That course died. And probably because he didn't do a great job marketing it, I just happened to be in there. Some of the videos that I was trained on, I even went back and asked him if I could get them. And I've tried to remake them with the versions you're seeing today. And they're gone. And he's in poor health. He spent 2 or 3 years traveling the Himalayas and doing some different hiking and things. And it's just not available anymore. And so I can tell you today that if you want to make the bridge steps, the big steps, then you got to take action, and you need somebody to follow. You need to mimic the results we have, get next to the other people in the course, see what they do wrong, and let's correct that. That may help you figure out what you're doing wrong and correct that. Just that little brotherhood, right? And again, I'm not wanting thousands of people. We're not going to get thousands of people. I want to get a small little group of us that help each other out. And I want to offer that little community just everything I can to help make them successful, and vice versa. And I count on them to help make me successful. And it's going to be that sharing that makes us all successful. And so, as I can tell you today, if you go out and buy another book, or you watch another video right after this one, if you're not taking action on anything, you're probably not taking steps and moving forward. And I am sorry that I'm the one to call you out on that, and I hope the next guy that calls you out on that helps you take action at that point. But if you finally take action because I called you out, then I'm happy that you watched this video. I look forward to seeing you in the members only area. I look forward to making more videos, and I look forward to you reading the rest of the things I write on the internet. Until next time, it's Will. Look forward to seeing you in the members area.